a lot of people of color are having problems getting out because they get to the train stuff and they said, no, the true, real Ukrainians first. So think about this. Suppose we were to go ahead and help them out. We go ahead and help them out, and we have some Latinos and some dark-skinned Latinos and black guys going out there and fighting in Ukraine. And then they have to get out and to think about a Ukrainian saying, I'm sorry, we got to get the Ukrainians first. That's the first thing that hit my mind when I saw that. I said, these people are going through a war. And their prejudice superseded their state of war. Their prejudice superseded their state of war. Can you believe that? Those were some of the things that told me right then and there, go fight your war. We'll help you. Because we don't want, Russia is just as bad, by the way. So, go fight your war. And we'll help you however we can. But as to go ahead and spill American blood, absolutely not. Check this out, and then we'll take it on the other side with what McFaul had to say.
My next guest is calling on the Western world to do more to help Ukrainians win the fight for their country. In a piece he co-authored, former National Security Council Director Alexander Vindman writes, the Kremlin has become a fascist threat, and it is Ukraine that is leading the charge to defend Europe, a fight that the world cannot afford to let the Ukrainians lose. Joining me now is Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman. He's the former Director for European Affairs for the National Security Council. He has served in the United States embassies in both Kyiv and Moscow. He is also a veteran of the Iraq War and a Purple Heart recipient. There was a threat assessment update in Congress earlier today with the intelligence community giving an update to the House Intel members. And the assessment said that it is not believed that Russia wants a direct conflict with the United States. There is an ongoing discussion about the no-fly zone. The West has said absolutely not. We're not going to do that. We just heard Courtney Kuby explaining why. I'm going to ask you, as somebody who knows this better than I do, if Russia and Vladimir Putin don't want a direct conflict with us, does that make it an easier decision to say, hey, yes, I think we can risk a no-fly zone?
Absolutely. We have to understand that our options are going to narrow and that the risks we perceive today as high are going to be pale in comparison to the risks that we'll face months down the road as this unwinds in a humanitarian catastrophe and Russian incrementalism. Again, this is the doubling down approach that Vladimir Putin prefers, and that's brought us to this point.
I want to start off with the conversation I was just having with Colonel Vindman. What is your view about a no-fly zone right now and the risks, considering the threat assessment that we heard from U.S. Intel earlier today?
Well, thanks for having me. Just full disclosure, Colonel Vindman, he wasn't a colonel then, but he served on my team in Moscow. So you got great guests. And I want to just congratulate the coverage that we together have been doing here, especially the Ukrainian voices. Their voices need to be heard. I disagree with Alex. I think a no-fly zone is the wrong move. I support the President of the United States on that. Let's just get rid of this euphemism, no-fly zone. Let's call it for what it is. It's war. If we try to implement a no-fly zone, that means that an American pilot has to shoot down a Russian pilot. And if we do that, that's a declaration of war. And Vladimir Putin has been very clear that that's the way he sees it. And if we're prepared to do that, if the American people want to go to war with Russia, I think it would be a mistake. But if we're prepared to do it, then we should have a vote in the U.S. Congress, because the Congress is supposed to declare war. That's what we need to do first. We should stop calling it a no-fly zone, and we should start calling it declaration against Russia to go to war. And I just don't think that's the right thing to do right now.
It's absolutely right. It's not the right thing for us to do right now. It's something that we should not do at all. We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead. Number one, subscribe to our channel. And number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.